Good night and welcome to another edition of Sports Monday. I am Paul Lopez. Cycling races are woven into the fabric of Belize's cultural identity. From the thrilling Holy Saturday cross-country cycling classic to the exciting New Year's cycling classic and all the races in between, we line the streets to cheer on our favorite athletes or tune in from our devices.
Here comes Oscar Quiros, along with Corey Williams and Davin Gonzalez have made their way across.
Over the past 3 years, one voice has become synonymous with cycling live streams, that of bike shop owner Andrew Ordonez. His commentary has become a staple, adding color and excitement to every race.
I always love cycling from teenagers or maybe just after past 10 years old, I fell in love with cycling. And then eventually I got into making cycling a living. I opened a bike shop. Getting to the broadcasting part, right after COVID, I visited my son in Chicago and he had a bicycle racing in the Intelligentsia Cup. Know nothing about streaming and nothing about, I mean like, how call it, dance when it comes to like anything media, right? And he said, Dad, just hold the phone and we're going live and we are calling names and so.
Ordonez returned to Belize shortly after, and what he tried for the first time in Chicago set him on a new path. He began live streaming races across the country, covering thousands of miles and countless events. And he's not using any fancy equipment either. Ordonez ingeniously crafted a tripod from a bicycle fork, connected to a bicycle hub, and mounted on a platform for 2 phones. His resourcefulness and passion have made him a staple in the Belizean cycling scene.
Being at the bike shop, the cyclists, I mean, every day you have cyclists gather here. We talk about cycling. I mean, I have been a racer back in the day, so I know how the race is being ridden, how the body operates. And because I know the cyclism by name, by riding style, like people ask me, how do you know it's such a rider? Because I could say, oh, that's Mr. Judge, kill it riding, and when I say, yes, it's Mr. Judge, because you know them, you communicate, and some of the cyclists come in and they really talk out their team strategy, so I pick up on that, right? But being on the highway, it's easy for me. To talk all day about cycling.
Ordonez has made a name for himself through his live streams. His energetic and sometimes comical commentating keeps the audience engaged while watching races.
Ayakatus and young Energizer Bunny have blown the whole race to smithereens. They have caused ruction and destruction in the peloton. They have scattered riders like skittle all over the tarmac.
But following a cycling race in its entirety across highways on the back of a motorcycle is no easy task, and quite frankly, a high-risk job.
Like, you know that if family donated a motorcycle to me, free of charge, they just let me go to customs, and I drove out with that beautiful machine because they saw what I was doing and they really want to see me, stay on the tarmac. But like you mentioned about the danger, we know how dangerous it is. I have seen, our friends lost their life. I know I could be one of those persons, one of these. But when you love something, if you put your life on the line, you don't think about it. You just do it, and that's how I do. I just continue to go there every day, pray. My family pray. Fans pray for me, and they say, Andrew, we know the risk you take. I know the risk I take, but I put it in my mind. The good Lord is watching over me,
and may He continue to do so. It was a big weekend for volleyball in Belize as the country hosted the Central American Volleyball Federation's General Assembly for the first time. This federation is part of the Norseca Volleyball Confederation, and its president, Cristobal Marte, was in Belize for the event. Before the assembly on Saturday, Marte met with Prime Minister John Briceño, the CEO in the Ministry of Tourism, and the Minister of Sports to push for greater investments in sports. Here are some remarks from the opening ceremony on how they plan to make that happen.
Sport can increase income in this country, as it does in every other country in the world, throughout tourism, throughout the sport and tourism, bringing in events, creating know-how, creating awareness in the world, so people know where Belize is, what do they do, and creating idols. We need to have champions here in Belize. We need to have people to look up to here in Belize, to inspire our youth here in Belize.
As I've had discussions with President Marte and Mr. Arate is that we can always do with more equipment. But that said, along that same line, during the conversations with Minister Ferguson, with Prime Minister, with CEO Usher, he expressed clearly that NORCECA can offer even more assistance, but first Belize must do its part. That is, the government must do its part, the National Federation must do its part, and NORCECA will even do more for the country of Belize.
And the Prime Minister announced some months ago that from our lottery, a portion of the proceeds will come to sports. That by itself, again, will be some assistance to improve our facilities. And it's only a few facilities because we're a small country. And I want to commit that we are going to work for those to be done.
Well, folks, that's all we have for you in tonight's coverage of Sports Monday. Catch you in the next one.